Did you ever wonder what is the best hypercharge in Brawl Stars? Well, in today's video, you will find out. But first, let me quickly tell you guys what a hypercharge is. And a hypercharge is basically like a power-up, you can say. It is like a second super. And also, in the description of the hypercharges, it says super, but I'll be calling it ability. So again, a hypercharge gives you like an ability, and it also gives you a speed buff, a damage buff, and a shield buff. I have 3 out of the 6 hypercharges in game, so I kind of have an idea on how good they are. Also, this is my opinion because I know for some of you, you might be shocked at what I'm gonna say, like what's my opinion on the hypercharges, which one I rate better, which one I rate lower. So just remember, this is my opinion, so don't get mad at me. I'll be rating the hypercharges by different things, like how good it is for the brawler, how it makes the brawler even better, and how meta they will be with the hypercharge. So let's get into it. Now, starting off with the worst one, and in my opinion, it is Pearl's Hypercharge. I think Pearl's Hypercharge is the worst hypercharge design of all time. Why? Because it literally makes Pearl's Hypercharge ability barely usable. And what I mean by that is Pearl Hypercharge places a burning pit on the ground that deals damage over time. I already think that if you can only place something on the ground where you can't even control where to place it, I already think that it's already a bad ability. But on top of that, it is barely usable, like I said. How? It is because Pearl's super knocks back enemies. Again, it knocks back enemies, meaning that they will be out of the burning pit, making the hypercharge completely useless. Even if they somehow get knocked back and are still in the burning pit, it'll be so easy for them to escape. The only good thing about Pearl's hypercharge is the other buff it gives, which is basically speed and damage and shield. So yes, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but just hear me out. Yes, it is easy to charge your hypercharge in a match, but I honestly think the ability of Shelly's hypercharge isn't that good compared to the other 4 brawlers. It just makes Shelly's super 33% larger. Yes, it is more damage and easier to hit a target, but I just feel like Shelly's super is already wide enough. Also, if you're close to a brawler, I feel like I'm gonna react more by pressing the super button first, instead of pressing the hypercharge button and then having to press the super button. This just takes more time. Also, if someone jumps you out of the bushes, I don't really see people pressing the hypercharge button first instead of the super button. That is why I put Shelly so low. Again, I don't think this is a bad hypercharge, I just feel like the other 4 brawlers that I'm about to talk about have better hypercharges. So yes, I placed Colt in 4th place, and there is a reason for that. It was really hard to choose between Spike's and Colt's hypercharge, as I think Colt's hypercharge ability is way better than Spike's. So why did I pick Colt for 4th worst hypercharge instead of Spike? Well, it is because Spike's hypercharge is already really good. But the thing about Spike is that those extra projectiles that explode out of his cactus make it easier to get Spike's hypercharge. Anyways, let's get back to Colt. I think Colt's hypercharge is amazing, making it easier to hit his super, as the super is 120% wider with the ability. What makes his hypercharge really good is the extra 2 ammo he can get with his gadget, making you deal so much more damage. I just see him being really OP in Siege and in Heist. Alright, so for the 3rd best hypercharge in my opinion, it will be Spike's hypercharge. Spike's hypercharge is really good, but it just doesn't feel special compared to the other hypercharges. What I mean by that is I just don't feel like Brawl Stars really thought about Spike's hypercharge as much as the others. Well, except for another one, which I think Supercell gave no thought, is Pearl's hypercharge, because to the mechanics that Pearl has, it just makes no sense. So you may be wondering, what is Spike's ability? And Spike's ability is to make his super 20% wider. As I said, it is nothing special, but with a hypercharge like that, it is really easy for Spike to gain area control, and I just think that this hypercharge in general is really good, but I just think it has no thought put into it. Also, another reason why I put Spike in 3rd place is because his extra projectiles that explode out of his cactus make it easier for Spike to hit an enemy, meaning it is easier to get his hypercharge. Alright, and for number 2, it's don't mess with the bull. Of course, we're talking about Bull's Hypercharge. Now we're talking, but I just feel like Bull's Hypercharge ability kind of sucks. Like 80% reduction damage, I don't know if that's like really good for him, since you don't really like use it that much. Like I don't think people will be shooting you when you're using your super that much as you think. Anyways, what makes me put him so high on this rating is the other buff he gets from the Hypercharge. Yes, the speed, damage, and shield. Extra damage and extra speed just makes him so OP as a tank. Like he just is extremely good. The tank trait also helps Bull get his Hypercharge faster. What I love most about this Hypercharge is that you can literally counter Shellys with 1 to 2 shots. You can easily just kill them and obliterate them if you are up close. Oh, so you're not close to a Shelly and a Shelly activates clay pigeons? No problem, the speed boost will be your best friend here. The speed buff and the damage buff are carrying Bull's Hypercharge. Even though I said that I think Bull's Hypercharge ability kind of sucks, you can also use Bull's Hypercharge ability to counter Shelly's super, as the ability reduces damage taken by 80%. The thing is, you need to time it perfectly and it is very hard to do. I feel like they should also add a 80% reduction damage after the super is done, maybe from 1 to 2 seconds. Anyways, this is why I placed Bull as second best Hypercharge, and it is because Bull is just OP overall with this Hypercharge. Last and not least, I put Jackie's Hypercharge as the first best Hypercharge in the game right now. So yeah, my favorite Hypercharge is Jackie's Hypercharge, as it gives so much value to Jackie. Jackie's Hypercharge ability is just so OP, slowing down enemies for 1.5 seconds if you use Jackie's super. Now, what makes the ability even more OP is that it still slows down enemies for 1.5 seconds even if your super didn't touch/get them. Like, what? I don't know who thought of this, but very well done. This is just amazing, and I just think this is really good for Jackie and improves Jackie so much. On top of that, Jackie's Hypercharge also gives Jackie more speed and damage and shield, making Jackie very OP for a tank. So I thought about it, and I figured I did not explain Hypercharge that well in the intro. So let me just quickly explain it again. So, what is a Hypercharge? A Hypercharge is basically a thing that gives you extra damage, extra speed, and extra shield. On top of that, a Hypercharge also improves your super by giving it a special ability. The thing about Hypercharge is that it takes almost twice as long to charge a Hypercharge than a super. Okay, now that we're done with that, I'll rate Hypercharges on how good they are in solo showdown and in team modes. And the last thing I'm gonna say is, because that'll be without my voice, is that I'm sorry if my sound is a bit off again, is because I'm still sick and I just really want to make a video and I wanted to continue uploading. Okay, so here's how I rate Hypercharges in solo showdown and team modes.